Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Katrina Knutson. I am an urban planner with Fairfax County Department of Planning and Development. And thank you for joining tonight. Here with me tonight is a group of folks that are on the panel. We have Graham Owen and Aaron Kleibanner, also with the Department of Planning and Development. We also have consultant staff from Smith Group. We have Meryl St. Ledger. We have Nick Martinazzi and Michaela Davis. And from Brick and Story, we have Latoya Thomas and Peter Manarin. So last Saturday, we hosted an in-person visioning open house, and we set up a series of boards to help introduce the study and explain where things stand today. But the heart of the event was really interactive exercises. And those exercises gave participants a chance to share their feedback and their priorities and vision for the future of this area. And we knew that not everyone could make it on Saturday. And so for many, a virtual option is easier or simply works better. So tonight, we're excited to share some of the same information and show you how you can participate online through a survey and do the same exercises and provide the same type of input. And everything you share with us will help shape the vision plan for the study area. So this shows the study area that we'll be considering for changes to the comprehensive plan. And this is area that we're going to be covering for the exercises as well. So to the west of I-95 is the Springfield Community Business Center, or the CBC. And then to the east is the Franconia-Springfield Transit Station area, or the TSA. We are also considering the area known as the Fleet Industrial Park as part of the study, and it's the area you can see outlined in the dashed lines. So the mission of the study is to update the comprehensive plan for the CBC and the TSA to guide development over the next 20 plus years. So key goals include reevaluating the land use mix, determining appropriate levels of growth and intensity, defining and reinforcing community character to support livability, and to ensure that the proposed land use mix can be supported by existing and planned infrastructure. So right now we're in phase one, and county staff with our consultant groups, with Smith Group and Brick and Story, will work with the community to create three initial kind of draft scenarios for the study area. We will consider community and stakeholder input from focus groups that we've had, from the community meetings, like one we'll have tonight, the survey that you'll be doing as well as we have an advisory group, and this will help us develop a final preferred scenario, which will be summarized in a report done by Smith Group. And phase two, that's where the preferred scenario will undergo a detailed analysis to assess impacts on transportation and infrastructure. The analysis will guide the draft comprehensive plan recommendations that county staff will prepare. And then the final phase in the study is the Planning Commission will make a recommendation on staff's draft comprehensive plan recommendations, and then the Board of Supervisors will make a final decision on the recommendations that are adopted into the comprehensive plan for the study area. So as I mentioned, we had an in-person meeting open house at John R. Lewis High School this past Saturday, and tonight you're here with us virtually. And this slide just kind of outlines some of the major kind of milestones that we anticipate throughout the study. After the visioning meetings, we will work to develop three scenarios, as I mentioned, November through the late January timeframe. We anticipate meeting we anticipate additional meetings and having a community open house to receive feedback on the three draft scenarios that I mentioned. And then from that, a final vision plan will be developed and then presented to the community in March, April timeframe, with the final vision plan completed in May. And over the summer and then into late fall, staff will begin analysis of the final scenario from the vision plan, including a larger transportation analysis that we typically do with these sorts of studies. Staff will also begin drafting of draft plan text, and then we hope to be able to publish the staff report with staff's final recommendation in winter of 26-27, and then in winter of first quarter basically of 2027, going to public hearing before the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. So existing conditions, I'm just going to go. These are some of the boards that we had at the open house in person, and so we wanted to be able to show basically the equivalent to you, so you could see those. So this slide basically highlights the character of the buildings within the CBC, and you'll notice that much of the area is made up of, traditional kind of strip shopping centers and low-rise buildings, mostly 1 or 2 stories tall. Residential uses are limited, with the Springfield Gardens apartments along Commerce being the primary housing, presence in the area. And overall, the CBC is, it's dominated by smaller scale commercial buildings with only a few taller structures kind of scattered throughout. So in the transit station area, we have, a wider mix of building types. At the heart of the area is the town center, which, kind of serves as the main retail hub with a variety of shops and anchor stores and businesses. Surrounding it are, again, you have the traditional kind of strip retail centers and several larger format retail buildings. The TSA also includes some of the tallest office buildings in the area, including the Transportation Safety Administration headquarters. The multifamily residential development in the TSA is generally taller than the housing found in the CBC. The TSA also contains, several single-family neighborhoods to the east of the town center area. And the area, is designated as a transit station area because it contains a metro station. The Joe Alexander Transportation Center contains the Franconia-Springfield Metro, the VRE, as well as bus service that's provided by um, by both Fairfax County and by WMATA. And then the area furthest to the east contains the Inova Franconia Springfield Hospital that's currently under construction. Okay, and then the comprehensive plan actually envisions currently envisions a whole network of parks and in open space in the Springfield CBC and the TSA, but that vision really hasn't come together at this point. Within the TSA, the Springfield Forest Park is really the only park that currently exists. Outside the TSA, there are a number of Fairfax County parks, many of them along the Accotink Stream Valley, which do provide additional amenities for the area. And then in the CBC, we have several smaller community spaces like the Calamo Park and the Springfield Overlook that's on the top of the commuter garage, which offers limited gathering areas. And then you also have nearby parks like Springvale and Byron Avenue, and they add some neighborhood level and Stream Valley amenities as well. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Nick, and he'll present some additional existing conditions.
Great. Thank you, Katrina. Team, please let me know if you cannot see the screen that I'm sharing. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that we're good to go. So these next set of maps that we're going to walk through is the analysis of the existing conditions that we did. So everything that's currently existing as it is today within the study area. If you've been to some of our meetings in the recent past, you'll recognize these maps. These are the same analysis that were at our other meetings. If not, they're new to you, and that's great. Don't worry if you don't catch everything on them. These will be available to you online as well. So we'll go ahead here. This is a map of the existing land use within the study area. So red is commercial, the yellows represent residential areas, and then blue is institutional and public, and then the gray is industrial and green being open land. So you'll notice, I think some of the takeaways here are fairly obvious, right? There's a lot of red. So a vast majority of the land use within the study area is commercial. And then the second biggest land use you'll notice is the yellow. So most of this is low density, private residential, um, and then you'll notice a lack of recreation and open space as well. This map demonstrates and shows the major destinations within the study area. So we're highlighting things in orange, such as grocery stores, yellow, retail, and then you'll see in the key a bunch of other things we're highlighting in blue is hotels, multifamily, community centers, post office, libraries, all that stuff. So you'll notice really in the CBC area, there's a really big concentration of grocery stores. There's the Giant Food, the Whole Foods Market, the Aldi. So there's a lot of places to go grocery shopping. Also within the CBC area, there's a lot of hotel as well. The TSA area, I think, which is also fairly obvious, is anchored mostly by the Springfield town center, as well as a big portion of that area is taken up by the TSA headquarters and the metro station as well. The parcel ownership and property lines map shows all the different properties and the property lines within the study area. But what this map really does is where you see a light colors, specifically the light yellows, that's where those different properties have the same owner. So they have joint ownership. There's a big concentration of joint ownership where the Springfield Town Center is. So obviously a lot of those properties are owned by the same owner. And then in the CBC, there's actually a pretty good mix of properties that are parallel or right next to each other that are also owned by the same owner. Obviously, there's a big concentration where the Springfield Plaza is, but you'll also see them sprinkled out as you go down Backlit, move south down Backlit Road there. Moving on from those individual properties, this map then takes, that and goes to the next step, and we look at properties that are unlikely to change. And what we really did is categorize that into three different overarching categories. So the purples, these are properties that have recently developed or are planned to be developed in the near future. You'll see a mix of that in both the CBC and TSA, right? TSA are those properties closer to the town center there. And then in the middle of the CBC, you'll see a cluster of purple properties as well that have recently developed or are planned to be developed. The next category is the light blue. So this is what we're calling fixed development. So these are areas of privately owned homes, institutions, areas that won't be touched. And then the red is the government-owned property. So this is categorized as federal-owned property, state-owned property, county-owned property. So this is areas like the TSA, the metro station area, schools, etc. And then our last analysis map here takes a look at the edge conditions throughout the study area. So this really breaks it again down into three categories: green for soft edges, yellow for uncomfortable edges, and red for hard edges, or what we consider barriers. So you'll see those red lines as hard edges, those barriers really follow those big highways like I-95, Franconia-Springfield Parkway, Franconia Road, where there's a lot of traffic, maybe vehicles moving at a high speed, and they're uncomfortable areas to walk. Uh, the areas in yellow are areas that we consider uncomfortable, but have a good potential for improvement. So you'll notice those yellow areas move more to the interiors. And then the green edges are areas that we consider today that are more walkable and more pleasant areas to to walk on the sidewalks. And that's even more interior than some of those yellow areas. And I will pass it back to Katrina.
Thank you, Nick. So I just wanted to, first of all, let everybody know we will put this link again in the chat, but I wanted to put this on a slide so everybody could see this. So the most important thing on this slide is the link to the online survey, so that that Meryl will be going through in a moment, and also the QR code to get to the survey. But so this is the link, and Meryl again will be going through the exercises and explaining that as well. But we also have the study webpage as well, where everything is located, kind of the central hub where you can find out a lot of information. And then you can also join the email list and submit comments as well. So just wanted to pull that up. And again, we'll share the survey link again in the chat. Meryl? Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? Were there any questions at this point, I guess, about any of the content that we just went over, or general questions before we kind of proceed into the survey? I do see, I mean, I see one comment in the chat and in the questions. Yes, and I think that is something that we are considering when we're looking at the study. So thank you for the comment. Any other questions? If not, we can just go ahead and move on to the survey then. Great, thanks. I guess Meryl?
Katrina, sorry, Katrina,
Yes.
I did want to just flag the one comment that was also in the Q&A box, separate from the chat box, just around county interest in the county being proactive versus reactive as well.
Right. Yeah, I did see
Okay.
that. So, and yeah,
Okay.
we are, and we can't anticipate everything, but we do take into we're considering what's out there and what is going on, and there's sometimes that we can put policies in place that can address uh, things of this nature. But thank you very much for the comment.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I'm going to walk everyone through the visioning survey. Okay, let's see here. All right, are you guys able to see my screen? Great, thank you. All right, so when you click on the link that was just shared, you will land on the visioning survey. And as Katrina mentioned, this is kind of an online version of what we did last Saturday in person. So I'm just gonna walk you through the different steps. And again, all this feedback is going to be collected and synthesized to help shape the future of this area and the recommendations in the comprehensive plan. So there are 7 steps essentially to the survey, 7 pages. So we'll go through them one by one. We will start here with the vision statement and the guiding planning principles. So the first question asks for your help in sort of crafting the next version of the vision statement. It has here the vision statement that is currently in the comprehensive plan, and it asks for comments, which you can put in this comment box. What changes would you make to the current vision statement? Or if you would like to write your own vision statement for the area, this is the place to put it, and then you would click on comment to submit that. And then we have specific guiding principles that are divided into categories. So for each category, for instance, starting with transportation and connectivity guiding principles, we've got 4 different principles here. Again, these are the ones currently in the comprehensive plan, which we want to update through this process. And it asks here for your feedback. What parts of these guiding principles would you change? What would you add? Basically share your thoughts and feedback about this particular set of guiding principles under the transportation and connectivity category. Then it goes into guiding principles under the land use and development category. And so you can read through these and provide your comments again in the box, what things you might change, what new guiding principles you might add. And this again mirrors what we did in the in-person visioning session on Saturday. Another category we have is safety and mobility guiding principles. So we have a couple of those from the current comprehensive plan for inviting you to add your comments. And then we have environment and sustainability, one guiding principle. And then we have identity and heritage guiding principles, again, to please read through and share your feedback on. And then you would hit continue, and it goes to the next exercise. Now, this exercise is called Preserve, Enhance, and Transform. What we're asking for is feedback on how the area should, how particular places in the area should be enhanced, which should be preserved, which should be enhanced, and which should be transformed. So we'll start with preserved. So you'll see a map. In this case, you've got the CBC outlined in red, and you can drop up to 8 pins that represent the places in the CBC that you would like to see preserved. This means you love that place as is. It might be a restaurant, it might be a particular little corner park space, it might be some other thing that is really sort of sacred, or a place that is particularly precious that you want remaining. And what you would do is click on Add Point. And when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to put a little pin on that particular location. And then it gives you the option to write a comment. In the in-person visioning session, we did that with sticky notes. So here is the opportunity to add a comment. You can just post it without a comment, or you can post it with a comment. So it gives you up to 8 pins, because what we're trying to do is get priorities in terms of, in this case, we're in the CBC and we're asking for what should be preserved. So then the next map asks for the same number of pins, 8 pins, for what you would like to see enhanced. So what are the areas that need a little bit of help? What are things that should pretty much remain but really need some improvement? So again, you would do the same, go through the same exercise, adding points and adding comments as an option if you would like to. So what should be enhanced? And then the third map asks, what would you like to see completely transformed? Where should there be a major change, a complete redevelopment? Is there a vacant lot, an underutilized space, something that just really needs to change completely? And that's what we're asking for this map. And again, it's prioritizing 8 points, 8 pins on this map. And you can zoom in and zoom out on these maps so that you can get a little closer and see exactly what's going on here in the CBC. All right. You can also add comments in these boxes below the maps. So if there's anything else that comes to mind, you can place those comments there and hit the comment button. And then you hit continue, and you go to the same version of the exercise, but this time for the TSA side of the study area. It's outlined in red again. You can zoom in and out. The first map is what would you like to see preserved? Again, 8 pins in this case. What would you like to see enhanced with the second map? And again, comments under each map, or comments with the pins. And then the third one, what would you like to see transformed? And we'll collect all of this information and synthesize it, and it will help us shape the plan going forward. So then we'll move on to the next exercise. This is one that we call our priorities and preferences exercise. Again, it's divided into the CBC side and then the TSA side. And it starts out with a series of images in a few different categories, and it asks for you to identify your priorities and preferences in these categories. So in the in-person meeting, we had these on a board, and it was a dot exercise. In this case, it translates more into a list. So right here, you will see a series of images of different types of land uses. This is our first category, land use. And you'll see residential, office, hotel, small retail, restaurants, cafes, retail large format, entertainment, parks and open space, civic, and senior living. Now, these are land use categories. And what we're asking in this exercise is to select the top 4 that you feel are most needed in the CBC. And again, we're thinking future forward. So if you feel like there need to be more parks and open spaces, that might be something that you click on. If you feel like there should be more offices or more entertainment, again, it's preferences, but also priorities. So that's why we're limiting it to the top 4 that you feel are needed here as we think of this area in the future. Again, it starts off with the CBC, and later versions of this will cover the TSA. It also gives you the option to place any comments on other land uses. Are there land uses that we missed here that are needed in the CBC to really enhance this area for the future? The next category is building height. In the in-person visioning session, we asked folks to put 1 dot in representing the building height that they'd like most to see or is most appropriate for the CBC. And so there are, again, images. These are just examples from different places. And you're asked to select low rise, 1 to 4 stories, mid rise, 4 to 8 stories, or high rise, 9 or more stories. And this exercise kind of gets at the level of density and height that you feel is appropriate for the CBC. And the third part of this looks at parks, public spaces, and streetscape amenities. Again, a series of images. We've got urban and civic plazas. We've got pocket parks, active recreation spaces, passive green spaces, playgrounds, trails, and greenways. Again, these are examples from other places. Placemaking and identity types of places, wayfinding and signage, public art, street lighting, street furniture, street trees, and vegetation. These are all the different potential kinds of parks, public spaces, and streetscape amenities that we'd like your feedback on. So again, we're asking for 4, what are the most needed for the CBC? And if there are any that we missed or that you'd like to suggest are appropriate for the CBC, you can add those in the comment box. And then we'll continue on. We're in step 5 at this point, and you can go back and forth to the different steps. The same exercise, the priorities and preferences exercise for the TSA side of the study area. So again, you'll see the same images for land uses, and you'll select 4 that are most needed in the TSA area, and any that you feel we may have missed or would like to further suggest. The building heights exercise, similar, and the parks public spaces and streetscape amenities exercise for the TSA side. Select 4 of those, or suggest any others that would be appropriate here. All right, and then we have our destinations exercise. What we wanted to see here is what are the places that you spend or you travel to most in this area. We'd kind of like to know generally where you're coming from and where you're going to. So if you're spending a lot of time at the grocery store, for instance, or at the Springfield Town Center, those are representing your major destinations as you travel through this area. So in the in-person version of the visioning, we had folks draw where they were coming from and going to. In this case, we're translating this to a statement. So tell us your typical route when you travel to or through the area. So there are some examples here. For instance, I drive from my house in the Springfield Forest neighborhood to Whole Foods, or I walk from the Greenwood neighborhood to the Franconia-Springfield metro station. And this really gets at connectivity. What are the places to and from folks need to go? What are the major destinations you're going to and from? Another layer to this is, again, we're thinking future forward for the CBC and the TSA. We're asking the question, what are the transportation modes that you would like to utilize more when traveling through this area? So is it just continuing to use your car? Would you like to see more bus service? Would you like better connectivity to metro and rail, or walking and biking? We want feedback on what transportation mode really is most important to you as you think of the future for this area. And then there's a box that offers the opportunity to make comments about travel to and from major destinations. And our last step in the visioning survey is just some optional demographic information that we're collecting. In the in-person event, we had an exit survey. And so we're asking the questions like, how did you hear about the event? These are all optional, of course. Race, ethnicity, current housing, age, languages, and household makeup, and any other feedback that you would like to share. And then you can click at the bottom here and submit your responses to the survey. So with that, I will stop sharing, and we can move on to, I believe, questions and answers.
We're gonna have some. Oh, go ahead, Katrina.
Do you want me to jump in, Latoya? Is that fine? And I guess
Yeah,
I
that's totally fine. Yep,
I'm
we have
just
some in the
gonna,
Q&A box. Yep.
Sure. Yeah. So there's one question I did answer. Somebody had a question about I was just going to pull up a map again and just kind of go over. The question was about the CBC and the TSA, kind of differentiating between the two. The CBC, let me go ahead and share really quick on my screen. I'll just share. This is the map I had in the presentation, but just so people could see. Let me grab. Let me see if I can grab. Okay, I seem to have lost my but anyway, the area in pink here, it shows the CBC. So that's the area west of I-95. And there are also maps that are embedded in the survey. And then to the east of I-95, all of this area in yellow is the transit station area, or the TSA. And again, there will be maps within the survey that show that area. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that. And then there was a question about, are there any restrictions or laws, policies that prohibit property owners from selling their property to data center developers? Well, it's generally our zoning ordinance that dictates that. And it's going to be most industrial areas. There are some industrial areas within this area, especially around the GSA warehouse. But there are additional standards for that, as well as not only is it dictated by the zoning ordinance. So the majority of, I think, the area would not, fall within a zoning district that would allow for data centers, with the exception of some of the like the area I mentioned. But then there are also additional standards too that apply to data centers. So this area, and I think when we're looking at this area, this is part of the process, of considering the uses, and in the survey, if you want to respond in a certain way, you're more than welcome to do that, and please do. So just kind of wanted to address that. There's a question here about this being a long survey. Yes, I know it is, and there really, unfortunately, isn't a function to save it and come back to it. So yeah, it would have to be something that you would have to complete. Yes, it is. The survey exercise is open to any and everyone. Yes, people could answer. Somebody could live somewhere else and take this survey. But I think the majority of how we're advertising the survey, it's generally going to be to folks in the area. So that I would imagine that will be a lot of the people answering the questions. So what we are the question is, are we focusing on the comprehensive plan vision or the area 4 vision? We are actually focusing on the Franconia-Springfield area, which is a distinct area within area 4. So that study area is, much smaller even than area 4. So we are focusing on the vision of those questions are regarding the vision statement for the guiding principles for the Franconia-Springfield area. Let's see here. Let me see. Yeah, again, it is something that would have to be completed. Someone who's asking if it would have to be completed in one setting. So I think I've answered all of the questions here. I don't think there's anything else in the chat. Okay.
If I can jump in, Katrina, for a second. I
Mhm.
think I forgot to mention at the beginning of the survey that there is a Spanish language option. So
Yeah.
as soon as you go onto that page, you can click for the Spanish language option if that's a preferred way to fill it out.
Yeah. And the survey will be open for 3 weeks. It will be open through December 5th. You'll have the option to complete the survey for the next 3 weeks. It will be open. Okay. I think that is everything in the final call. Any other questions? Okay. Great. Appreciate everybody attending this evening. The link to the survey has been placed in the chat, and it will also be available on the project web page as well. You all have the first dibs at it this evening because we're putting the link out tonight, and we'll be putting it on the website tomorrow. Yeah. That I don't know if any of my other anybody else has any other comments on the panel that they would like to add? Nope. Okay, great. Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for joining this evening, and have a good evening. Thank you.